Ladies and gentlemen, and hockey fans of all ages, we are getting close to the NHL trade deadline 2 weeks from this Monday. The trade rumor mill is going crazy. It's probably in that red zone, and within the next few weeks, it's going to probably break with all the rumors coming left and right. My name is Randy Dillon. Welcome back to another exciting edition of Randy Talks Hockey. I want to break down what's happening, give you some insight of all these rumors. There's a lot going on. I try to identify which rumors are good to talk about and which ones you can kind of think will or will not happen rather than just give you all because there's so many happening, ladies and gentlemen. We did have a trade earlier this week, though. It is the Toronto Maple Leafs. They finally addressed their goalie situation after Freddie Anderson went down with an injury. They acquired goaltender Jack Campbell and forward Kyle Clifford from the Los Angeles Kings in exchange for Trevor Moore, a 2020 third-round pick, and a conditional 2021 third-round pick. Now, I think Jack Campbell is an upgrade from Michael Hutchison in net, and the Leafs, they had to do something because Freddie Anderson's down. It's week to week. He is skating with the team, but the Leafs are in a tough fight for the playoffs. But Campbell's debut, not so great. The Leafs gave up 4 goals to the Anaheim Ducks last night. And the Anaheim Ducks, they are the third lowest scoring in the league. That's not good right there. The defense is suffering, and they probably still need a defenseman because now Cody Cece's out with an injury. Will the Leafs ship back to LA and say, hey, can we get Martinez now? Will they go in the other direction? Maybe Ottawa. Look at their old pal Ron Hainsey. We've heard Brendan Dillon's name out there. Or will they go even to Jersey and say, hey, how much for Sammy Vatanen? Who knows, but Dubas, you better fix this team's defense. It's been a problem for a while, and it's just not getting any better. You want to speak about teams that are dealing with injuries and that change their trade deadline plans, you got to look at the Calgary Flames. Mark Giordano went down with an injury on Tuesday's game against San Jose. It didn't look pretty. Everyone thought he was going to be out long term. It's now just week to week, but it does change the Flames trade deadline plan. They originally wanted a forward, but now they might have to get defense depending how long Mark Giordano's out for. I could see them getting a veteran defense, maybe a guy like Trevor Daley, maybe some depth defense from Ottawa like Brian DeMello and Mark Borowiecki. They still want a forward, though. Ilya Kovalchuk's name is out there. I remember talking Kovalchuk wouldn't be a good fit if the Flames sign him, but Johnny Gaudreau's struggles keep happening. The Flames gotta find ways to put them pucks in the net. Maybe Kovalchuk can solve that answer. Thomas Tatar's name has approached the Flames. He's that gritty player that can maybe help them and create some offense. Only time will tell what the Flames do and how long Mark Giordano's out. But they are struggling, ladies and gentlemen. They are in the final wild card spot. But you got teams like Nashville, Chicago, Winnipeg, and Minnesota just a couple of points behind them. They got to get some wins here. If not, they might be looking not looking at another playoff year. Not looking at the playoff this year and after such a successful year last year. How did that happen? When you look at the trade deadline, a lot of teams are after the same thing. When we look at teams that are after forwards, you look at the Vancouver Canucks. I know I said Vancouver wasn't really in the forward because they might get Michael Furlan back, but if they don't, Wayne Simmons could be an option for Vancouver. The question will be how will it fit with the Canucks cap. They are pretty close to the cap right now. They will have players returning. It'll be interesting how that's going to fit if they do go after Mr. Simmons. We know that Philadelphia, they want a top 6 forward. A guy like Tyler Toffoli's name is coming up there. But the problem with the Flyers, they are very tight against the cap here. They do have a chip in Shane Gostisbehere they're trying to trade. Now, with Gostisbehere still having term left, it does make it difficult to trade. Is it going to be a swap player? You swap a forward for a defenseman? Who knows? The other thing for the Philadelphia Flyers, Carter Hart's been out since January 13th. Brian Elliott, he has done a good job helping the Flyers get some wins. But if Hart's out long-term after the deadline, do the Flyers approach a goalie? I hope not, because Carter Hart's in my fantasy pool, and I am struggling right now. So if he could come back anytime, help me get some wins, that would be great. We know Boston wants a forward, but remember, David Backes' contract makes it difficult. Well, they might have a solution for David Backes. That is the Anaheim Ducks. The Ducks have said, hey, we'll take a bad contract, but you got to pay us some assets and maybe some draft picks. Will the Bruins pay some draft picks to get rid of Backes, and that might affect them getting a top 6 forward? They could use that. We've heard Joe Thornton name out there. There's actually rumors saying Rickard Rakell. I don't think that one likely. I look at more like a Toffoli, maybe a Tattard, someone that can, on a short-term deal that they're not bringing back because they got other players they got to sign. Now, speaking of teams that need defensemen, we're going to look at the Florida Panthers. The Panthers, they're desperate need for defensemen, and they might have a way to figure it out. They got Mike Hoffman and Evgeny Daganov. They're both UFAs at the end of this year. They could ship both guys off, get some assets, and use those assets to bring in a forward. We saw San Jose do that. They traded for Hoffman, then they got assets for Hoffman, shipping him off to Florida. So it might work both ways. Who knows? But the Panthers, they are tight with the Leafs in the final battle. But the injury to Alexander Barkov doesn't help. And Bobrovsky, he has to be very good down the stretch. If not, that's not going to be good news for Florida chances for the playoff. The Minnesota Wild, their plans where they are in the standings, only a few points out of the final wild card spot, their plans might affect other plans. We've heard rumors of Jason Zucker. Teams like the Pittsburgh Penguins, Calgary Flames are interested. Matt Dumba, the Carolina Hurricanes have some interest in. Maybe the Toronto Maple Leafs. Well, if Phil Guerin and his management team of the Wild think the Wild can go for that playoff spot, I don't think we'll see Zucker or Dumba get traded at the deadline this year. Maybe in the offseason, but it's all going to depend on how they play in this upcoming few weeks. The Columbus Blue Jackets, ladies and gentlemen, what are they going to do at the deadline? They are third right now in the Metro behind the Penguins. They jumped the Islanders. With the Islanders, they are struggling quite a bit, but they did get a big comeback win earlier this week. The Jackets, they have young players, but remember, they gave a lot of draft picks to get Deshaun and Dzingel and McQuaid last year. I don't know how it's going to affect what they're going to do. Maybe they're just going to keep their team how it is this year and hope for the best. Remember, they got that goalie Elvis, and he is playing terrific. Shout out here, shout out there. Man, oh man, where are the Blue Jackets coming from? Remember last week, I talked about Chris Kreider, and I said, hey, he could be one of the top pieces in the trade deadline. Well, it might not happen at this point, ladies and gentlemen. The Rangers have finally opened up contract talks with Kreider. He might stay, or he might go. Only time will tell. But another rumor coming out of New York is the Rangers might be time to say bye to Henrik Lundqvist. They're all-time leader in wins, probably the best goalie in franchise. It's not going to be a trade, possibly about the end of the year, but those are only rumors. But I think it's possible because you got Gergevich, you got the other guy in the wings as well. I think the Rangers know they have to move up from King Henrik at one time, but he's created a great legacy in that city. I don't know who's going to step up to the plate. The Arizona Coyotes are going to be an interesting talk about. I didn't really mention them saying they're going to be doing anything because they got Taylor Hall in December. Well, they are struggling quite a bit. They've lost 4 of their last 5 games. I know they got a couple of loser points here and there, but it doesn't look good. Now, if the Coyotes are really fall off the cliff here, they feel they don't have a chance to get back in the running, most likely they're going to ship off Taylor Hall, and then all the questions again, Taylor Hall, the culture and what he does. But let's not forget, the Coyotes are missing Darcy Kemper, and he right now hasn't got the job done enough since Kemper's been out, especially returning from the All-Star break. So, Arizona, you better hope you get some wins here. If not, oh, good gosh, it doesn't look good. Couple of final notes I want to talk about is the Winnipeg Jets and Dustin Byfuglien, they have decided they're in the works of agreeing a termination to part ways. I don't think Byfuglien will play this year. Next year, though, where will he go? Maybe Florida, his connection with Joe Quenneville, or Chicago with Patrick Kane and Taves. And the big question is going to be, what will the Hawks do at the deadline? We really haven't heard their name much of what they're going to do. They have $13 in cap space at this moment. Probably 10 when the deadline hit because Calvin DeHaan and Brent Seabrook are done for the year. They have assets. Are they going to make some interesting moves to show them they're a contender? Because this year they really haven't looked as good. And also the question will be, what are they going to do with their goaltending? Is it Robert Leonard or Corey Crawford? I think they should make a decision on that soon. Just my opinion. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got for this week in our countdown to Trade Center. We'll be back next week with more breaking news and rumor reports to happen. My name is Randy Dillon. Have a good one. And always remember to watch some hockey.